If you're still sitting on that 0000 password like Kanye West, it might be time to rethink your online security. A new Google Ipsos poll finds that 20% of Americans have tried to guess someone else's password, and 54% of those who guessed, they got it right. Google says it has a new solution to security, one that does not involve memorizing yet another password. It's called Fido, like the dog. Joining us now, Camille Stewart, Google Global Head of Product Security Strategy. Camille, thank you for being here. So obviously, I think most of us are sort of aware that security is an issue, even if we don't necessarily do enough about it to protect ourselves. What exactly is Fido, and how is it going to be implemented?
Yeah, it is a passkey-less authentication mechanism that moves us towards not using passwords anymore. Password-only authentication is one of the biggest security problems. Based on the stats you said, you kind of hear that people are using common passwords or things people can guess, and this is a key milestone in moving us to a passwordless sign-on.
And so how exactly is it going to be implemented sort of across platforms, if you will?
Right. They're all going to adopt a similar authentication mechanism. And so as you sign on to any of the platforms, Google, Apple, Microsoft, you'll be able to leverage devices to authenticate onto their system.
And then additionally, Camille, I mean, when we think about the hybrid work environment and the realities of so many corporations that have even shifted to a bring your own device type of structure, you know, how much more important does that make mechanisms like this? And how can users of these products kind of take more control and ownership of that?
Yeah, this becomes really important. Password authentication is a huge gap. We have a long way to go before everything is passwordless. So in the meantime, people should really invest in strong passwords, using password managers like Google Password Manager that stores and auto-populates strong passwords. But most importantly, using things like two-step verification so that it is not just the password that they are using to authenticate into their account.
I have an issue with using the suggested password sometimes that gets recommended either on my device or in any type of new site that I'm logging into. But when we think about the realities of the strongest case password that you could possibly get, I mean, this is where we often run into the issue of just remembering some of these passwords to get back into systems, but then in the future as well, just our access points across multiple devices. And so if we are streamlining this into one particular solution, doesn't that make it a little bit more vulnerable at some point?
Think about it like this. Okay. I understand the exercise that one place might be less secure. But if you are putting all of your passwords into Fort Knox, then you feel a lot safer, right? Companies have invested in these password managers, Google in particular, into making sure that that is the most secure space possible. So if you choose a password manager that has done the work to make sure that it's a secure space, then it actually is the best proposition for you to secure your account and your identity.
So I guess one of my questions is, how do you get this broadly distributed and get people to sign on? Because there are versions of various password protectors that exist, and they're certainly not universal. I would argue they're probably not even widespread. So how do you get it out there?
The industry is coming together to figure out how to allow that kind of seamless authentication across platforms. This step with the Fido Alliance is a huge milestone in that. But in the meantime, using things like a password manager that works on your browser or on your phone allows you to kind of authenticate across a number of different platforms and devices until we get to that future where we are not using passwords.
Camille, helping us be a little bit better at passwords. I know I suck at them right now, so we're trying to do just a little bit better and be safer and secure. Camille Stewart, who is the Google Global Head of Product Security Strategy. Thanks so much for joining us here today.